Hello, and welcome back to Budget Modern, your source for modern legal MTG decks for about $50 or less. Today we'll be covering a deck that I like to call Heroic Intervention. This video will actually be part of a three-piece series doing three different heroic decks. This one, a mono-white heroic deck. The following one, a mono-red heroic deck. And the final one, a red-white heroic deck. So definitely stay tuned to see what else we have in store. Let's get right on to the deck list here. First off, we have 22 planes, and then we have 3 copies of Favored Hoplite. Heroic, when you cast a spell that targets Favored Hoplite, put a 1/1 counter on Favored Hoplite, and prevent all damage that would be dealt to it this turn. For single white casting cost, it's a pretty good creature. Next up, Langona Band Trailblazer. Another single white casting cost. 0/4 with Heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Langona Band's Trailblazer, put a 1/1 counter on it. Pretty good creature. After that, we have Phalanx Leader. Double white casting cost. For 1/1 Heroic, when you cast a spell that targets Phalanx Leader, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. This one here actually has got a decent bit of value with this deck, especially with so many of the creatures being very low casting cost, and the main population of the deck is spells to be able to buff and target your creatures. Next up, we have Vanguard of Brimaz. Yet again, it's a double white casting cost. This time it's a 2/2 with Vigilance. With Heroic, whenever you cast a spell that targets Vanguard of Brimaz, put a 1/1 Cat Soldier token with Vigilance onto the battlefield. This one's good for producing even more creatures that you can attack with, to hopefully outswarm your opponents, and generally beat them down. And next up, we have Akroan Skyguard. 1 generic and 1 white for a 1/1 flying with Heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Akroan Skyguard, put a 1/1 counter on it. Nice to have a flying creature for some evasion there. And our last creature for the deck, Themos High Priest. 2 generic mana and a white for a 2/3 with Heroic. When you cast a spell that targets Themos High Priest, return target card with converted mana. Return target creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. This card is very useful for mid to late game for recursion. If you had to block one of your opponent's creatures and lost your own, this is a great way to be able to get it back. And again, we're running 3 copies of each one of the creatures that we previously mentioned. And now let's move on to the spells. First off, we have Alley Evasion. Single white casting cost for an instant. Choose one. Target creature you control gets +1/+2 until end of turn, or return target creature you control to its owner's hand. This is a nice, quick little buff there, or you can use it to bounce one of your creatures to keep it from being destroyed, or just for general evasion purposes. Next up, we have Artful Maneuver. 1 generic mana, 1 white for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. With Rebound, if you cast the spell from your hand, exile it as it resolves. At the beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast this card from exile without paying its mana cost. This one here has quite a bit of value, seeing as how you basically get to double it. You get it the +2/+2 bonus the turn that you play it for the first time, and then your following turn, you get to play it again. So nice for stacking Heroic on there. Next up, Battle-Wise Valor. 1 generic, 1 white casting cost for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and you scry 1. This is nice for both buffing creature and for seeing a little bit into your future. Make sure you don't pull land at an opportune time. And next up, we have Conviction, 1 generic and 1 white, Enchantment Aura, Enchant Creature, Enchanted Creature gets +1/+3, with pay a white, return Conviction to its owner's hand. This one allows you to be able to bounce Conviction back to your hand and cast it to go on to another one of your hero creatures. That way, if you have to block with the creature that's enchanted by Conviction, you can pay a white, return Conviction to your hand if your creature's going to die. That way you don't lose Conviction, and then you can play it on one of your other creatures, trigger Heroic, gain that effect, and not have lost Conviction. And then for our final card of the deck, Moment of Heroism. 1 generic and 1 white for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink until end of turn. Another good buff, plus the added bonus of lifelink. Very nice value here. And with all of our instants and single enchantment that we have in this deck, we're running 4 copies of each. If you liked this deck and would like to see our future lists and content, please hit that like and subscribe button down below. Also, you can check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/budgetmodern, and hope to see you next time.